How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good, good. When you first got involved in this project, what is it that made you most excited about it?
It was the conversation I had with the creator of the show, who is a legendary showrunner, and I was so struck by her extraordinary passion for this idea that she had come up with when she was watching the Duke lacrosse scandal happen.
Mhm.
That she's got two kids in real life, both of which are on a professional sports track. And she said, what would happen if my boys came home to me and said, they were involved in this horrible scandal and said, Mom, we didn't do this. This did not happen.
Mhm.
And she looked at it, which is where Hillman Ford comes in. The athletic director of Duke was fired almost immediately in that scandal, right? The guy was not nothing to do with it. And yet he's one of the first people who goes down. And so she's really struck by all the ways that in a scandal like that, there's this swirling tornado of damage that happens. And so to me, that her passion for that and her desire to look into that world, which I hadn't seen in a show before, and particularly set in college athletics, where women's college athletics in particular, where it was just this boiling cauldron of pain and drama and all the different things that I think, it's horrible to be a part of, but it's really great to watch.
What is it about the story that initially just hooked you?
Well, years ago did a very movie I really love called Glory Road, which is the true story of the 1966 college basketball team that won the Final Four and that coach. And I really love that world. And so I was struck by, oh, well, here we are. If you look at, the 66 championship in that movie, and here we are, it's 30, 40 years later, and 50 years later, and how the world has changed, and how because of social media and the internet and the Me Too movement and all the swirling things that are going on, that's what really fascinated me. And inside of it is this character who you see, this really interesting, slick politician's like life, but in reality he's going home alone, and he's
Mhm.
all the different things that you start to watch why Hillman is who he is, and it made for
Mhm.
a character. And the character is really interesting and fun to play.
What is the most difficult aspect of Hillman's journey for you this season?
Look, I'm not just saying this because of who Hillman is. I don't really, characters are fun to play sometimes because they're nothing like you, right?
Mhm.
Reality, that's what I enjoyed, is like, who is this guy? Like, why would he act the way? Because I don't understand him. I have to play him. And he was a lot of fun to play because you're finding the choices he's making so bad, and yet you got to figure out, like, why would he actually make that choice? And the audience is feeling the same way, and hopefully the audience likes him and like understands the kind of, like, the guy in the office who's trying to hold it all together, but in reality he's got all this mystery going on. And so hopefully that is the look, we're entertainers. Our job is to create something that is entertaining. And why
Mhm.
people love, I think, television these days is because you binge watch something, right? And you binge watch it because it really makes you want to go, what's next? How did this happen? Like,
Mhm.
so that's where Hillman drives the story in a weird way, in many ways, actually, because of the mess that he keeps building upon the other messes that other people are making. It's really interesting human drama.
Is there a certain episode that you're looking for people to hopefully watch and just kind of relate into a way of college basketball, or just, their general storyline?
Well, I think you see the dynamic happens with a championship team, right? And a championship team has so much pressure. My son and I we've been watching Man in the Arena, which is the Tom Brady documentary on ESPN.
Mhm.
And it's a really interesting documentary because it goes through every season that they were in the Super Bowl. And you see how the dynamics of a team shift and change, and the seasons and the pressure, and all the different things that happen, and the personalities. And I think that's what this show is trying to do too, from a much more inside, so it's not really about basketball. It's
Mhm.
about the dynamics of the team, the dynamics of the personalities and the marriages and the lives that these people are living. And you start to get to know them, and hopefully you care about them even if they're wildly flawed.